The godfather of the Indian stand-up scene, Vir Das!
Hi! It's a lovely audience clapping, but there's also a guy going. अगर विकी कौशल आया होता तो कितना ताली बजाते उतना ताली बजा रहा है. My career plan is like a BMC road. Just and I met Shroff, bro. Till date, I have no clue what the f he said to me. He's like, bro, like just, and I'm just like, Shroff is calling me Bidu. There's a moment where I contextually explain to Americans what bench means. Indians are also enjoying it because they're like, let's see. कैसे समझाता है, you know what I mean?
I feel like there is a lot of similarity between you and Zakir in that way because both of you are storytellers.
I'm a huge fan of Zakir. We hugged each other and so I was like, come on man, you keep pushing me and I'll keep pushing you. Tom Cruise in the lead. There's a brown part. Kunal Nair from The Big Bang Theory is auditioning. Hassan, myself is auditioning. Riz is auditioning.
Right.
It went public live, line lagi hui hai, and at the front of the line is a ass whooping. होंगे FIR, झपट पड़ेंगे, and then you go and you join the back of the line. If you see Diljit Dosanjh killing it at Coachella, you can't do that.
Correct.
If you see Amitabh Bachchan को रिश्ते में हम तुम्हारे बाप लगते हैं, you can't do that.
Correct.
I'm just doing bhakti on a mic, right? ये तो मैं कर सकता हूँ.
Do you ever get scared for your family though?
Yeah, in the controversy that I went through, parents didn't sign up for death threats. My wife didn't sign up for death and rape threats. And I don't like talking about it too much because it's like. Then this will cut with like the emo music underneath it and all that stuff, etc., etc.
There is an editor there who's right now making note of this.
I want your attendance, your cash, and your laughter.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about your pity. When the Two Indias thing happened, so many messages from so many famous people. Bro, proud of you. You're a hero. Thank you so much for saying something. They'd see that I'd read their WhatsApp message and then they would delete their WhatsApp message. There's some moments where you just gotta look at each other and be like, हाँ चलो, ग गई.
You've seen what the Emmys and those awards are like, and you've also been a part of Manikchand Presents the Indian Filmfare Awards, right?
Sure, you know who's going to win before. Never mind.
If not acting or stand-up,
Influencer. No.
crazy.
Every time the van would open, there'd be just 3,000 screaming girls like, Imran! And I'd walk out and they'd be like, all bald and covered in cement. They'd be like, ये villain होगा, you know, like.
COVID में नाच लिए होते तो आज यहाँ नहीं होते.
You know, to watch like some A-list star who's always been like lit and made up and be like, Dalgona coffee! Right? You're like, hey, yaar, you don't know how to be yourself.
Yeah,
Oh.
correct.
I'm like a double-decker bus.
What does that mean?
Like if a girl sees me on the street, she's like, yeah, I know what that is. I don't want to take a ride, but I know what that is.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, he is the godfather of the Indian stand-up scene. He's an actor, he's a writer, he's a producer, and now he's also an author. And he's here with us today on special request. Please give a massive round of applause and welcome Vir Das!
Hi. Hello. Am I in the right seat?
Yes.
Yeah? I have two questions. Can I ask you a question to open this?
Absolutely.
Every time I come here, you have a bigger office. So are you selling drugs? What are you doing? Do you guys actually work here or do they just keep you around for interviews for the...
So they're all paid actors.
They're all paid actors,
obviously.
That makes one of us.
Yeah, and the drug peddling is only on the weekends.
Oh, lovely. Great.
So, yeah. But Vir, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's fantastic to have
Thank
you.
you.
These are all people who are fans who responded to our, call out to come watch your show.
This is actually all my fans. It's them plus my mom. No, cool. Great.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate you guys, whoever came in. It's effort. Yeah.
I was watching your stand-up special.
Yes.
Which will release by the time this is out.
Yes.
Right? In that you say a line that says, I came to Mumbai with one suitcase, no contacts, and no comedy scene. And today I filled up an entire stadium.
I didn't say I filled up an entire stadium. I said there's a stadium here.
Yeah, but you filled it up.
Yeah, but there's a difference between the two lines. One is to say I filled up a stadium, but I didn't. People filled up the stadium. So, difference. They showed up for me, but they're the ones who showed up.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about showing up to Mumbai with one suitcase to then showing up to a stadium where people fill up the stadium because of you. What is that feeling? Does that ever sink in?
It's terrifying. You know, एक तो Indian crowds are very impatient, right? So a lot of people were, and my crowd is like, it's not fandom, it's audience-dom. So there's, my audience is intelligent. There's expectations.
Thank you.
And if you f with them, they'll f with you back. You know what I mean? So a lot of people were sending me screenshots from the C-Link saying, "What is this traffic? You did this," and then people walked from the C-Link to NSCI Stadium so that they would be at the show on time.
Wow.
So to me, the audience experience of it is really what matters, right? So in that moment, you're thinking, I hope the AC is working, I hope they're okay, I hope the seating is fine, I hope the playlist kicked off, all of that stuff. You're not really thinking about your journey, you're very much thinking about like their journey, ki inko parking mila, that kind of thing, because I also produced it, so you're responsible for what they go through.
Correct.
Like I'll give you an example. The 9 p.m. show at the stadium, so we had 12,000 people come into the stadium.
Wow.
Right? And there was a blackout in all of Mahalakshmi. And so one pizza slice of the stadium, 1/4 of the stadium had to wait without AC. Now, people are messaging me on Instagram going, "My sister just fainted." And I'm like, "Main to joke sunayega." You know what I mean? In a little bit, but then you feel responsible. So the first thing, I had to go up on stage and I had to be like, "Very sorry, it's Gautam Adani's fault, and welcome to the show." So in that sense, you're thinking about them. You're not thinking about yourself.
Still?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you've done what, 100 plus shows?
Yeah.
5 Netflix specials, and the small award, like you said in your special, the small award called the Emmy.
The Emmy, yeah.
You're still thinking about what every person in the audience is going through?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's. But that's also the lens with which the material is written. That's also. I mean, has anybody here been to a show of mine? Like, raise your hands if you've attended a live show of mine, right? So that means you Ubered. That means you save money. That means you had a choice.
Yeah.
That evening you had maybe another comedian was in town. Maybe Diljit was in town. Maybe somebody. You had options that evening. Some of you hate my comedy, but the guy or girl you like is into my comedy, so you're sacrificing there. I think about that stuff. So the promise of my show is I will send you home flying on a cloud, which is it's an arrogant promise, but it's something you have to think about their experience to deliver.
I think that's what differentiates it, right? Because you've thought of all the nuances throughout, and I'm guessing as your years have progressed, you've also understood what are the other weird things that you probably haven't thought about in your initial shows that now you realize, iska bhi dhyan rakhna padega. Has that happened?
Yeah, it's little, I mean, this feels like very meta stuff, but, for instance, the show, the Netflix special is about losing my voice, right? And I lost my voice for 6 weeks. And normally when you shoot a comedy special, you're supposed to be very rehearsed. You're supposed to be like tight. 180 shows, you've done, now you're ready. I couldn't talk for 6 weeks. So I went and performed for 12,000 people with zero rehearsal. Right? So
that was the first show you did?
I did a rehearsal show the night before, but I could only do half an hour of comedy because my voice wasn't strong enough. So I didn't think about the fact that it's in the round. There's a big bowl of people, and I have a mic with a cord.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think that as I'll keep turning around, the mic will keep tying me up.
Right.
So at least 17 times during the show, I had to untangle myself and tell. So that like that you discover on the job. But also, I think the special is about saying that you can think so much, you can be so careful, you can plan everything, and then one day for no reason you lose your voice.
Yeah.
And then one day for no reason you get it back. And then you should just not think about what you're saying. Then you should just try and have fun. So hopefully this special is a little more fun, and it's a little more silly than the last few.
And you have this habit of doing this in a couple of your specials where you do multi-country, multi-continent episodes and you stitch them all together seamlessly. Yeah. So it's the same sentence, and as you're ending it, the laugh then happens in New Delhi when the joke was cracked in New York.
Yeah.
How did that idea come to being? And also I want to understand, your shows have this quality, right? In your last special you had this door in the center of the stage.
Yeah.
In this one, you have that little bulb,
The
and
light,
in between there is a part where the audience the stadium goes dark, and then you're taking us through a journey. How do these things come to you?
Well, the multi-city thing is, I think Indian comedy is global. Unapologetically. So at some level, I want to say, yeah, the Comedy Cellar is the best comedy club in the world.
Yeah.
It is the holy grail for every comic who wants to be a comic. And Indian comedy works here. And by the way, Indian comedy also works in a church in London, not just a show in London. Tumhara church le lete hain. The British church, Indian comedy works there. And yeah, it works in a packed Mumbai stadium too. So I like that.
Yeah.
Not as a flex, but as a declaration. And the darkness bit, I think every show should have a magic trick. Every comedy special should have a magic trick. So with Landing, it was the sand, where we revealed the sand, with the door. So I think with this, the darkness, and that in that moment of darkness, you realize why that one bulb exists.
Correct.
And so it kind of leads up to that.
Yeah. And have you felt a difference in the reception of the global audiences to your stand-ups in places outside India? When you go to London, when you go to New York, Australia, is there a difference in the way they now perceive Indian comedy and you are an instrument for the same?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's enough local comics. Like if you go to New York, you'll find
Right.
40 local comics who talk to you about like 7-Elevens and doctors. And if you go to England, there's enough local comics who talk to you about Rishi Sunak and Gujaratis and Patels, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. It's there and it's great. मैं इतना suitcase pack करके आया, visa लेके आया, embassy होके आया. I'm going to talk to you about some new shit, man,
Yeah.
that you haven't heard before. So if that
Yeah.
means we're talking about the Andheriya mode ki chudail, or if that means like there's a, can I cuss on this? I can cuss on
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
right? Right. So there's a moment where I contextually explain to Americans what bhen means. All right, and not the actual. It's not a very obvious way of thinking about it. But in a moment like that, Indians are also enjoying it because they're like, let's see, कैसे समझाता है, you know what I mean? कि इनको हमारा, because I try to explain to them what bhen is contextually.
Correct.
It's not a cuss word,
Yeah.
actually.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling, it's a this, it's a that. So even Indians are like, take 3 minutes, explain. Let's see what you do. So I like doing that, and I like that a white guy now knows what benchot means at the end of it, whether he uses it or not, I don't care.
Yeah. And do you think there's still judgment for Indian comedy outside India?
Yeah, there is. I think there's a long-held Western fallacy that they came up with stand-up comedy. And the truth is we've had Berupias and a culture of Hasya Kavis and stand-up for a very long time.
For a long time, yeah.
But in its current spotlight brick wall, Mike, sure, please take credit. But if the concept of political satire or speaking of kings in a room behind their back or in front of their court, I think we've got about 1,000 years on you of that.
Yeah, and I love that about your stand-ups. I have to tell you this. There is always this subtle, always almost egging or satire that you pull towards the British era in India. And it's always very funny to see you give it back. Like this time you were like, we don't even want the reparations. We just want to see what you do.
Yeah.
So how is that like a feeling that comes in automatically? Is it just something you put in for fun?
It's both. I also travel the world a lot, so I know what it feels like to be an Indian person at an airport. Do you know what I mean? Like God's been kind. One travels well.
Right.
So one travels
First class.
whatever. Okay?
Obviously.
All right, great. But fly Air India to Heathrow once, right?
Okay.
And see a couple
Huh.
who is 65 to 75 years old, and their son maybe works in Boots, or their son works in this thing, और वो पहला विजिट के लिए लेके आया है उनको UK.
हाँ.
ठीक है? See their confusion at Heathrow Airport, because and you realize, oh, it's uncle auntie's first time on a plane, or first international trip, and see the way they get treated for not knowing what you have taken for granted for so damn long. You know what I mean? and see them struggle to fill out the form, see them do all of that stuff. Please help them, but it will generate within you a feeling of, at some level, like, F you, man. Like, uncle's an engineer.
Yeah.
You know, an auntie had a job as well, and they sent their kid to the UK.
Correct.
It's a big goddamn deal.
Yeah.
So, you know, at some level, I do want to. I think there's a. I don't want to represent it. I just am. I'm a modern Indian. And what does this mean? This means we don't show up in the West with one suitcase. We show up with 3 suitcases now. You know what I mean? And we're not impressed by your buildings and your electricity. वही हमारे पास है.
Correct.
हम दोनों Starbucks पीते हैं, ले लो. हम दोनों Netflix देखते हैं, ले लो. I'm not even sure if I want to stay very long.
Yeah.
I want to go back home. My comfort of life is way greater in Mumbai or in Goa than it is in the West. So sometimes I map the career path of a US comic.
Right.
And it's like, I sold 1,000 tickets in Boise, Idaho. Then I will do a bit part on something. Then I'll come back and I'll sell 2,000 tickets in Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
Right? But I'm like, in Mumbai, I can direct a movie. I can.
Correct.
And I don't know, I can take 2 dogs off the street in Goa, and they just moved to Mumbai, my 2 dogs, and they have 3 dog walkers. These indies. Do you know what I would have to do in New York to afford that,
Yeah.
etc.? So, at some level, I represent an Indian that isn't overawed by the West anymore. You know, because I am one.
Love that. And do you think there is more coming out of India now? Because we generally believe, a lot of people here, I'm sure will second me when I say this, that you paved the path for stand-up in India.
There's no path. BMC. It's all this thing, etc.
But especially for, say, English stand-up in India, right? And that is obviously has to technically be the medium of speech when you go outside for easy communication.
Sure, yeah.
Do you see that's happening more now? Do you think people like more coming out of India?
Why just English? Any Hindi comedian. In the same year, I played Apollo. Zakir played Royal Albert. I did Carnegie. I think someone did The Beacon, who's a Hindi comic. Hindi comics are touring the world, man. So are English comics as well. The big fallacy about India, which I kind of try and address in my special, is number one, we have, I think, above 200 million English speakers in India. That is a bigger English market than America.
Correct.
Right now. Somebody was telling me on the day that Pathan came out, The Nun, you know the horror movie The Nun? The Nun did 35 crores on that weekend, along with Shah Rukh Khan's Pathan. So I'm saying there's enough people to watch English content as well. You know, so there's a bit that I do in the special where one of India's biggest Hindi comedians came up to me and he's like, bro, tu relatable nahi hai. You know what I mean? You sound very privileged. Tere ko relatable hona chahiye. And then he left in a Range Rover. All right? And that's when you realize the most privileged people in the world don't even need English. Don't even speak English. You know, so all these fallacies are there, I think, to be challenged. That there isn't an English audience in India. Look at All We Imagine Is Light as a movie. It is not in Hindi, it is 60% in Malayalam, I think, is the it's an Indian movie that doesn't pander to any version of India that, you know, it's just
the
its own thing.
stereotypical version,
So I think it's a great time to kind of have a unique Indian voice.
I know I do want to draw a parallel here with all due respect. I feel like there is a lot of similarity between you and Zakir in that way, because both of you are storytellers. And whenever he does his storytelling in Hindi comedy, I think a lot of us sort of have a callback to how you do your English comedy. Have you ever gotten that before? Do you feel that yourself?
I am a huge fan of Zakir, right? And we just kind of... I remember when the Emmy happened, he kind of came in for the celebration and we just kind of, we hugged each other and I was like, when I see you do Royal Albert, that pushes me And he was like, when I see you do Carnegie, that pushes me. So I was like, come on, man, you keep pushing me and I'll keep pushing you, because the two of us will keep pushing this whole thing. You know what I
Correct.
mean? So
Correct.
I got mad respect for him.
Love that.
You know,
There's this belief that comedy can be both collaborative but also competitive. Do you feel that in today's day in the Indian scene? Do you think this is
sure. I mean,
competition?
to be good, you have to compete. But the point is, nobody has it better than somebody looking for. Any artist looking for an audience doesn't have it better than India.
Why do you say that?
There's 1.8 billion people across the world, Indians across the world.
हमारी तादाद ही इतनी है.
There are enough people to watch Upmanyu, Zakir, me, Kenny, Uru Rashfaq, Aditi. All of us can find an audience, and there's no problem. We don't cannibalize. You know, sometimes when I work abroad, and I work with diaspora people
Right.
abroad. You know, like, okay, there was a movie that Inarritu is directing, right, with Tom Cruise in the lead. And there's a brown part in the movie.
Right.
So I've been called to audition. Now, I know for a fact that there are 5 names on that list,
Right.
right? It's Hassan is auditioning. Dev Patel probably is not auditioning. Kunal Nair from the Big Bang Theory is auditioning. Myself is auditioning. Riz is auditioning.
Right.
It went to Riz Ahmed. All right. I think is what I think happened. But here you can have an abundance mindset. Do you know what I mean? You're not sitting back going, oh, there's a brown roll. After, after all these years, we've been blessed with this one thing that 6 of us get to audition for. Here, we can make anything we want. So,
Correct.
in that sense, I think Indian artists would do themselves a disservice if we ever had scarcity mindset. Because I sometimes work in communities where there is scarcity mindset. Because there's genuine scarcity.
Right.
And we have abundance.
Correct. Fair. Another mindset right now going on in the comedy scene is a little bit of a fear mindset.
A fear mindset?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
that
wonder
thing
why. All right, cool.
It's that thing that the road to glory in stand-up goes through Indian jail. Do you, what do you think is happening there, and how do we solve this? I mean, clearly, it's
I don't
happening
think
a lot.
it's for us to solve. It's not our business to solve it. It's our business to make sure that it makes us funnier. You know, look, I can only speak to my personal experience, but every time a comedian's in trouble in India, I usually get a phone call saying, "Bhai, ho gaya, kya kare?" And I just say, write about it and make sure it's damn good. You know, that's what I've told all these guys who've gone through it. When I get the phone call and I'm in touch with all of them, it's the next thing you do, everyone will watch. If you're ever in this controversy, etc., whether you choose it or not, the next thing you do, everybody will watch. People are going to show up.
Correct.
This audience is very intelligent. They'll show up. Make sure it's good. And make sure it's deeper than the thing that you got cancelled for. You know, make sure it's impressive. Make sure it doesn't lionize you like and make sure it doesn't victimize you like poor me. Just make sure it's like solid, proper, funny, and give it enough time so that you've percolated a decent perspective on it. But the audience will show up for you, for sure. I'm very confident. And if you're talented, I'm not worried about that. So keep writing about it. But I think, I said this to a journalist the other day, but there is a Venn diagram, which is politics, journalism, and comedy.
Okay.
And they all intersect at subject matter. Do you know, like, say what you will, we're all dealing with the same subject matter, right?
Right.
If a bridge in Andheri is short in the construction, right? That involves Faye D'Souza, a politician, and Azim Banatwala to talk about these 3 things, right? Make sense? Right? Now, you, the audience, expect me to make light of it, and Faye to make truth of it, and the leader to make sense of it, right?
Nice.
But somehow it's all jumbled.
Yeah.
But I think this clearing will also involve those two things clearing as well. You know, the public life,
Right.
it's like a line.
It's like a line.
Line
हाँ.
lagi hui hai.
हाँ.
And at the front of the line is a ass whooping. Right? Is a public ass whooping. So you will trend, honge, FIR, jhapad padenge, all of that stuff, etc., etc. And then you go and you join the back of the line, right? And it's somebody else's turn and somebody else's turn. And you just have to pray that there's enough people in front of you in line
Yeah.
that it only happens once in your life.
Yeah.
But if you think of really big stars, you know, in our country, they've gone through this multiple times in their, you know, they all of these controversies, etc., etc. So maybe at some level it's the price to pay.
Very true. This reminds me of an interview once Shah Rukh Khan gave. I don't remember where, and he told the interviewer how he was talking to Amitabh Bachchan once, and he was asking him.
Amitabh Bachchan said it's your fault. It's always your fault.
He's like Amitabh Bachchan is like कि वो newspaper में आएगा कि तुम drunk थे, and Shah Rukh is like मैं drunk नहीं था, तुम थे, तुम्हें पता नहीं है, तो हाथ जोड़ो और माफी मांग लो.
The other thing that's, I think, why comedians also get into trouble is with no other profession do you watch the artist and be like, I can do that. You know what I mean? Like if you see Ishan Khattar shirtless on a horse, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like there's no chance, right? If you see Diljit Dosanjh killing it at Coachella, you can't do that.
Correct.
Right? If you see Amitabh Bachchan को रिश्ते में हम तुम्हारे बाप रखते हैं, you can't do that.
Correct.
Right? If you see Anushka Shankar play the sitar, you can't do that. But at some level, I'm just doing buck on a mic, right? So at the end of the day, you're like, ये, you know,
ये तो रोज करते हैं.
ये तो मैं कर सकता हूँ. So then when I piss you off, it's much more pissing off because it's a version that's closer to you.
Interesting.
And also, don't confuse eloquence with intelligence. Like I'm very eloquent. I'm not intelligent at all. You know, and sometimes that annoys intelligent people. You know, because they're like, I have 2 degrees from IIT and IIM, etc., etc., etc. Why the f do you have a mic? And it's a valid question. You know what I mean? Like, तूने क्या किया है life में? And my response is, I agree. I don't know, but just circumstantially, I have the mic,
right?
And you don't. But don't confuse this for me thinking I'm more intelligent than you. I'm not at all. I'm just watchable.
I love that. Do you ever get scared for your family though?
Yeah,
in all of this that happens.
In the controversy that I went through, you know, my parents didn't sign up for death threats. My wife didn't sign up for death and rape threats. You know, that's not a. I don't like talking about it too much because it's like then this will cut with like the emo music underneath it and all of that stuff, etc., etc.
There is an editor there who's right now making note of this.
So I just don't like you know. I don't want your pity. I want your laughter. You know what I mean? I want your attendance, your cash, and your laughter.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit about your pity. You know. So. They didn't sign up for it, but it'll test you as a family also.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like it's when the Two Indias thing happened, with all this police stuff, it was at the Emmys.
Yeah.
And we landed, and we thought maybe I'd be, you know, arrested upon landing, etc., etc. And I wrote a special about it. It was called Landing, right? About that flight home.
Yeah.
But at some level, I had to sit my wife down and be like, all right, so in case, here's where the money is, here's where the, you know, make sure, blah, 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 blah. And it's nice to just have your lady go, yeah, you know, I got it. I'll sort it out, you know. And maybe that's a conversation you would never have had.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't really discover how sorted you are in life until life punches you in the gut a little bit. You know, so I just came out of that really knowing, by the way, who my friends are and who allies are. It's hilarious. I have so many messages after that thing from so many famous people at all levels who'd be like, bro, proud of you. You're a hero. Thank you so much for saying something. They'd see that I'd read their WhatsApp message and then they would delete their WhatsApp message. And I was just like, that's the first time. The first like 3 times that happened, I was like, oh, this might be a bigger deal than I thought it was. But you figure out who's in your corner really fast.
No, but honestly, on that note, right? Not for the sympathy angle, but how do you deal? Like, how do you talk to your parents about something like that? More importantly, because there are moments like this that life cannot prepare you for. Especially when it comes to family, we all are very vulnerable. I mean, it's okay when it comes to you, you can still face it. But when family gets involved,
No,
you're
you
like,
don't. You don't. Yeah. I mean, also at some level, they have a son who's a comedian who. Every time there's an issue in the family, my parents know, okay, this is going to wind up on stage, etc., etc. But I don't think, like, there's some moments where you just gotta look at each other and be like, ah, chalo, lag gayi. You know what I mean? Like, you just, you're not like, etc., etc., etc. I don't think there was a overt conversation about it. I think when I went away for 4 months.
right?
And then I put my phone on again and I put a show on sale. Sold out very fast. And then I did the first show. And I think one of them, my folks were there. And at some point, my dad, very sweetly, he was like, I think within your art form, you've earned a place of memory.
Wow.
You know, you'll be remembered for something. And good or bad, you'll be remembered for something. So that was nice to have him say.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, it's big, especially coming from an Indian father.
It's great.
Love that. In your special, you say one line, which I don't know the context about, but I just
Oh,
want
God.
to know. You
All
said, and there's a joke ahead, but I'm not going to tell them the joke, but you said, la 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 la, and there was a time when Shah Rukh Khan told me he's proud of me, and la 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 la. When did Shah Rukh Khan tell you he's proud of you?
It was after the Emmy Awards. So it was at the premiere of Archie's. And I just won the Emmy and I met him there. And I used to write for Shah Rukh Khan at Filmfare
Yeah,
Awards.
of course. Yeah.
So you don't expect him to, remember you in that sense. And yeah, he gave me a hug, kissed me on both cheeks and said he was proud of me. And I blushed pretty hard, is all I'll say. But yeah.
Is there a moment where you've been starstruck? I mean, apart from Shah Rukh Khan, of course, that somebody you looked up to or somebody who told you something that you still remember till date?
All the time. Like,
Yeah.
I just co-directed a movie that I starred in called Happy Patel, Khatarnak Jasoos. And I play Happy Patel. And the producer is Amir Khan.
Oh, wow.
And so it's kind of like my first feature that I've ever co-directed. And
Right.
it's this madcap comedy that I get to headline. And I co-wrote it as well. And then you're suddenly in the room with Amir Khan.
Yeah.
And there are definite days where, we're just editing or we're talking this thing, where you're like, it's Amir Khan. You know what I mean? Like, there are moments where you have to kind of pinch yourself. So I get that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my first show ever in Mumbai. I talk about it in the book, but it was the Times Food Awards. Right, and I'd never met like a movie star before, right? And so I think there are moments where the universe lets you know be undeniable, and things will come of this. So I was a Delhi comic who had done 3 shows, and then the Times gave me this show.
Right.
Aishwarya Rai was there. I think Shah Rukh was there. A bunch of other people. So I started doing jokes. Aishwarya Rai came up on stage to give away an award. She's like, "You're very funny." Right? So, just, butterflies and all of that stuff. Then I met Jackie Shroff, bro. Right? And he spoke to me for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And till date, I have no clue what the he said to me. I was so starstruck, right? He's like, "Hey, bro, like, just and I'm just like, bro, Jackie Shroff is calling me Bidu. You know what I mean? Like, this is insane. So yeah, still till date, I'll get starstruck.
No, I agree. We shot with Jackie Shroff in his house.
There's Aura Max.
Oh
no?
man, I mean that is what
with the plant and all of that.
What
stuff.
a cool man looks like. Like he walked in, we had set up. He walked in and he had his collar up and he's like, "Bidu, खाना वाना खाया क्या? जब तक खाना नहीं खाया shoot नहीं करेंगे." And he sat down. He's like, "Ah, Bidu, तेरा नाम क्या है?" And we're all just like, he's talking to us. He's very very cool. He stayed back when our crew was packing up. 15 minutes, he was just standing at the door with us, packing, talking to us. Kahan se ho? What do your parents do? He knew we were packing, we were about to leave, but 15 minutes, he kept us company, recorded videos for us. Yeah, chalo, bado,
He's
okay,
the
bye.
best, man. I ran into him at a dubbing studio 2 years ago. But he's great. We were at Purple Haze. And I said, hi, sir. He's like, Bidu, dubbing. And he left. And a world had happened in that conversation. It's great.
Oh. So these are the people that is this like a validation that somewhere it makes you feel happy, or just something a child in you?
It's not validation. No, it's just, it's in the circus. It's kind of nice. But I get the same feeling as my special is shot partly at the Comedy Cellar.
Right.
The Comedy Cellar is where the best comics in the world perform.
Right.
You have to audition to get into the Comedy Cellar.
Right.
Right. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Even now?
Yeah. So, the Comedy Cellar will not talk to management. They won't talk to your agent. You only get into the Comedy Cellar if two comedians who have been there for over 10 years or something recommend you for an audition of 3 minutes. For ST, who's the booker of Comedy Cellar. Now, this lady has auditioned everybody from Dave Chappelle to Chris Rock to whoever you like, right? And so, I auditioned for her after 3 Netflix specials. After 2 comics recommended me. And then I started working at the Cellar, right? But then there's something, so then at the Cellar, it's a democracy, right? In terms of Chris Rock will do 15 minutes as a surprise act, then you'll go up and do 15 minutes. And they give you the same respect. But sometimes it's nice to have a legend be like, hey man, good set. Fist bump or something like that. You're just like, that's validation. You know, as opposed to starstruck.
And do you have a routine before you go on set?
Well, most critics say I have no routine at all. But no, I warm up, voice, and then hard drugs and I'm on.
Yeah. So same basically.
Same.
Yeah. No, but is there a part of you that the way you speak? I mean, I know you're not very religious, but you seem very spiritual. So there is a part of you that is sort of calming yourself down, speaking to yourself. How do you like tap into that, you know, that moment of greatness that you have to kind of tap into to
I'm not tapping into moments of greatness, but I'm tapping into moments of fear.
Okay.
I try to think about them, you know, like my favorite part of a show is, or before a show, is not Ladies and Gentlemen Veer Das.
Yeah.
Right? All that, right? My favorite part of the show is music chal raha hai, music chal raha hai, music chal raha hai. And then suddenly the lights go down, right? And everybody shuffles, puts phone off, this, that, etc., etc. You hear, and if you ever hear 12,000 people do that, right? Sometimes you'll be like, yeah, and then the excitement will come up. But instead of hearing mouths, if you hear movements in seats, you know what I mean? Ki, shit, all right, shuru hone wala, etc., etc. That, the fear that will put in your body, when you realize that's for what you are about to do next, the anticipation, that's my favorite moment of a show. Because I realize how high the stakes are.
And I'm sure there have been moments where you felt like you haven't lived up to the stakes.
Yeah.
And
but
what happens then?
Then I get there. You know, like sometimes you'll, at the stadium show, the first 5 minutes weren't great because half the people had been in the heat all the time, etc., etc. So I had to work hard. And it's a little artsy, but do you believe in flow state?
Yeah.
Right. So I think there's a flow state is when the audience and the artist are like one organism, right? So there's a moment where maybe it's 45 minutes into the show, whatever, where, you know, the audience is like, this is going really well, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even the artist is like, this is going really well. And like, you know, so to some artists, that's color. And to some artists, so to me, it's temperature. So there is when I start a comedy show, I'm a different temperature and the audience is a different temperature.
Right.
And then my job is to make us the same temperature. And then I can cool that temperature down with discomfort and heat it up with high laughs, etc., etc. But that moment of when I'm like, oh, we're both in with the same temperature right now, that's how I see it. So that's what I'm working towards.
And do you go back and watch your specials? Are you critiquing yourself, or do you?
Well, I'm
have...
editing them, I direct them, I edit them. So like the special you saw,
Yeah.
I hate by now because I've watched
Watched it.
it so many times. I can't
Yeah.
look at. I'm in a weird place where the movie I'm in, I'm directing. I'm in an OTT series that I'm directing. I'm in a YouTube fiction series that I produced that I'm directing as well.
Okay.
I just did a Netflix special that I directed. I have a book out soon, which I wrote. All coming out in the next 10 months. All that have taken 3 years to this thing. So I'm kind of sick of myself and looking at my own face and my own story, and I'm just kind of tired of like, so I think I want to direct somebody else and kind of do that stuff for a bit.
But tell us, how does that happen? Just to understand, landing a special on Netflix, getting into one of the big stadiums in India, outside India, what is that process like? I mean, of course, now I'm sure it's easier for you because you have a pedigree of work and people are coming to you, I'm sure, for a lot of things. But initially, when you had to crack it, how does it happen? So, say somebody who's an up and coming comic, what is their life cycle going to be like, and what can they do to maneuver it better?
Oh, I think you're better off asking someone who's kind of in between the generation of new comics and me, but with more YouTube experience, because I think that's the roadmap right now. Like,
Okay.
I don't say this with any arrogance, but the first time I put stand-up comedy online, stand-up, was a Netflix special. I'd never put comedy online on YouTube before that ever.
Right.
I'd put like songs and this and that, but never ever stand-up. So I don't know what that roadmap is.
Okay.
And that's the roadmap now.
Okay.
YouTube to Netflix, or YouTube to Hulu, Amazon,
Yeah.
etc., etc. But with Netflix, I think I started selling shows in the US. I got signed by a US agency. Then they invited Netflix, Amazon, HBO to a show I did in a club.
Oh.
Netflix sent their junior most person who came and saw me. She went back and she was like, "You got to see this guy." Then the boss got a video. And then I got invited to a meeting with the boss. And I was told, just whatever they offer you, just take it. They'll probably offer you a show in Mumbai or something like that. I was like, I want to do a show that cuts, I did a broad understanding, that cuts between Delhi and Mumbai, Delhi and New York. And they said yes. But sometimes it changes.
You've been a part, I mean, at least you've seen what the Emmys and those awards are like, and you've also been a part of Manikchand Presents, the Indian Filmfare Awards.
Yeah, both, yeah.
What is the spectrum? What is the scene like? What is happening there? What are we doing right? What are we not doing right?
In terms of award ceremony?
No, in terms of general, the industry.
Okay, great.
Awards, I'm sure there's a lot.
No, I think the big difference between awards here and there is here you know who's going to win before. Never mind. I don't think there's such a difference. I think what they lack in passion, we make up in passion, and what we lack in planning, they make up in planning. And that's really just it. But I pick passion over planning. Give me a choice. Okay. The thing I'm proudest of on this special is it's a show shot with 14 cameras in Mumbai, in a stadium.
Right.
8 cameras in a church in London. 6 cameras in a basement at the best comedy club in the world in New York by an Indian crew.
Okay, so what we're going to do at this juncture is just check with the audience if they want to ask questions. I know we have this section for the end, but if you have something, okay, all right, okay, got it.
There we go.
So I had a doubt that if not acting or stand-up, what career would have been then other than this?
Influencer. No.
Crazy.
I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a Shakespeare professor. So I was in a PhD program, MFA PhD program, to just teach theatre and Shakespeare.
That's amazing.
Yeah, would have been a more peaceful life for sure. So, yeah.
Right.
Hi, what's the craziest fan encounter you have ever had? Maybe in India or out of India, wherever, in your experience.
I got booked for a corporate show. All right, and this for this very sort of NRI billionaire types, and every billionaire has to employ usually one dumb from who is related to them somehow. And that, like हमारे चाचे का उसका बेटा usually is like, and उसके हिसाब से उसका अंकल सबका अंकल है, you know what I mean, वो energy लेके आता है life में, right? And so he met us at the airport, and he told Aditya, my manager, he's like, so shows tomorrow at 10 p.m. Vir will have to be at the office at 9 a.m.
Okay.
So we were like, but he's doing jokes for your company. He's not joining your company. Right? And he's like, no, uncle has said. So uncle has said. So I was like, I tried to explain it to him. Like, see, Book My Show has brought Coldplay to India. If you go to Book My Show's office at 9 a.m. on the day of the concert, they won't be like Chris Martin filing kar raha hai yahan par. You know, it won't be like this thing. And then this businessman like yelled at us. And he was like, I have never waited, because apparently he waited at the office. And he was like, I have never waited 2 hours for anybody in my life. And I'm like, A, nobody in 25 years has ever asked me to do this shit. And B, you seem like a very impatient man in general. So that I think might be the weirdest encounter, where they expected me to show up at the office and like spend the day because they had booked me for a show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yes. Talking about fan encounters, you have sat next to me.
I sat next to you?
Yeah. So
I'm a big fan of yours, bro. It was hard to control myself, and
it was at a fundraiser show for pets with Rohan Joshi and Sahil Shah.
yeah, my wife produced that
Yes,
show.
yes.
Yeah.
So you sat next to me, and I was in denial. Like, why would you be here at such a random show?
Well, it wasn't for you. It was for animals, and my wife, who's a different kind of animal, and raising money for them. So if there's a person I was a fan of that evening, it was my wife. But it was nice to sit next to you.
Hi, Vir.
Hello.
Talk to us about Delhi Belly, because it can't be that you come here and we don't talk about Delhi
Don't talk about Delhi Belly. So back when dinosaurs roamed the planet, we made a movie called Delhi Belly that everybody has since said it was ahead of its time.
Yes.
And still till date, people say it's ahead of its time. But in a weird way, I don't know, I haven't seen it in a while. Does it hold up? I think it still holds up in today's, visually it holds up, I think, and comedically too. It's a crazy, lovely experience. You know, we went to battle together. It was a very small film. It was an English film. So it took an Amir Khan to stand behind it to say, I'm going to push it out there. I shared a van with Imran Khan and Kunal Roy Kapoor for 6 months of my life. So we became very close. And this is Imran directly after Jaane Tu, right? So, and I was bald in Delhi Belly. So every time the van would open, there'd be just 3,000 screaming girls like, Imran! Just nuts. And then I'd walk out and they'd be like, right here. Because I'd walk out all bald and covered in cement. They'd be like, ye villain hoga. You know, like it's...
Tell me, in the spectrum of not in terms of less to more, but from Delhi Belly to Go Go Gone, where is Mastizaade?
It is top.
You joke so much about that.
I joked about it, yeah. But look, at some level, if I'm being totally honest with you, it's a blast.
Yeah.
It really was. Sunny Leone is hilarious. Really cool, really confident, really hilarious. Her and her husband Daniel were there throughout this thing. We got to hang out. She was earning a serious paycheck on Mastizaade, which was nice to see.
Good.
You know, and we all had fun and made a terrible movie, which is fine. You know, it's but it's not a crime to make a bad movie. It's not a crime to be in one, but I think just for me, I kind of realized I have an intelligent audience that will call me out if I'm in something that I wouldn't watch.
Yeah.
So it's not like I don't want to do dark shit or, but just for me, it was like, if I wouldn't watch this, I shouldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, fair. No, fair. You said it isn't a crime to make a bad movie, and that's correct, because if it were, half of Bollywood would be behind bars right now.
I think Bollywood's going through their own kind of...
They're finding themselves.
they're finding, yeah, I think they are. But I think there's something is going on in terms of they're all... Every meeting I go into, they're like, kya chal raha hai? Like,
They're only like, kya chal raha hai?
Yeah, but I think some correction is happening in the market.
Yeah.
And I think it's also because this generation redefined celebrity.
Correct.
It really did. Like, I've said this on interviews before, but there aren't, COVID was the great equalizer,
Yeah.
where you suddenly you discovered how funny the internet was
Correct.
as opposed to celebrities. And the influencers shot up as well because they were authentic
Yeah.
for a bit.
Yeah.
And then you kind of revealed how inauthentic celebrities were at some level as well.
Correct.
Right? Earlier it was, अरे पहाड़ पे lighting के साथ मस्त music के साथ मस्त नाच रहा है आदमी और अच्छा लग रहा है. But now that's you in the reel.
Yeah.
You're the main character,
Correct.
the audience. You've seen behind the curtain. That's not fascinating to you anymore.
Correct.
What else you got?
And there's also this joke going around these days on Instagram, and we keep joking about it in the office कि COVID में नाच लिए होते तो आज यहाँ नहीं होते. But
COVID was great that way, the equalizer.
Yeah, it's true.
To watch like some A-list star who's always been like lit and made up, it'd be like, Dalgona coffee! Right? You're like, hey, yaar, you don't know how to be yourself.
Yeah,
Aww.
correct. You've also had this beautiful thing that you do where you're going to important occasions, you always give an Indian brand a chance to stand
Which
up.
is where I have a book to promote right now. So the book I'd like to promote is called The Scent of Fallen Stars by Aishwarya Jha. It's a dual timeline novel set in Delhi exploring love, loss and hidden truths. It follows Will and Leela's intense affair in 1995 and years later. She's a New Delhi-based writer, designer and award-winning debut novelist. She's the co-founder of Indophile and a global performer in one-act plays. So please go check her stuff out, if that's
Awesome.
okay.
I
I'm just
love
kind of doing this on every podcast I
We
go
love
to.
that.
Like
We love that.
a new author.
We also love the fact that you promote brands. You've just done this. Where does that come from? To always give the underdog a chance. Where does that come from?
I've been given the chance, at the end of the day. So you got to pay it forward a little bit. And I believe in karma. So I believe that if I'm hosting the Emmys and I pick a random designer after 4,000 people have submitted who are also struggling, they send in underdog energy and she comes in with underdog energy and she'll work way harder than, one of the fancier designers.
Yeah.
And I have underdog energy in that room, and then it combines and it just kind of builds into something great, So, yeah, I'm very much a product of the kindness of people,
Oh, I love that. You're a very happily married man,
I'm a very happily married man.
but you obviously get female attention. Does it get awkward at any moment?
No, Ray, I don't get like that kind of female attention. I don't. It's very like, I'm like a double-decker bus.
What does that mean?
Like if a girl sees me on the street, she's like, yeah, I know what that is. I don't want to take a ride, but I know what that is.
To people who right now are in a moment where they're maybe struggling to find the light, you clearly have gone through a lot and you've always found the light. What would you say to them? How do you find the light?
I don't know. I think you have to trust in the fact that this will soon be material. That's it. That's what I've told every comic who's called me up when they cancelled. I'm like, yeah, sucks now, but in round the corner, this will be 15 great minutes. This could be a show. If it's good, like if you married the girl, it's 15 minutes of material. If the girl dumped you, it's 15 minutes of material. If the government gave you a Padma Shri, it's 15 minutes of material. If the government called you an anti-national, it's 15 minutes of material. It will still be 15 minutes of material. But just make sure that it's, that it's honest. That's it.
Make sure it's honest. Love that. All right, Veer, this was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you
Like I
for
said at the
having me.
beginning of the podcast, I'm a massive fan.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for doing this. I'm sure the audience had a really, really fun time.
Thank you. Enjoy the drugs that you are peddling in this office to many people. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Veer Das.